about to start. Gene? Welcome everybody to the Wednesday night Loving Kindness meditation. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. Well, as it is wonderful to be here with you every time I'm here. It's getting a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid. Hopefully not for too much longer. That's all right. We'll be here anyway. Hello everyone in person and everyone online. Jean, hello. Ryan and Linda, hello. There's one more. I don't have my glasses, but hello. Good to see all of you, regardless of where you're at. And so, really quickly before we start here, is there anyone here your first time to the Dharma Bum Temple? Is there anyone here, not your first time to the Dharma Bum Temple, but maybe your first time to Wednesday? Nope. All right. They're all... You're all veterans. I like it. All right, so I think there's one more person coming in here, so I'm just going to wait just a second here. And I'll just kind of give this little introduction. The word that we're talking about when we say loving kindness is this wonderful word called metta, M-E-T-T-A. And this word can mean really a lot of things: loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill, amity, concord, inoffensiveness. There was this one monk who just looks like he just took a thesaurus and used like all the synonyms for for loving kindness that there could be. And but essentially, he was just trying to get across a point that it could really mean just so many things, and it's a wish for ourselves and others to be happy, and it's also a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness. Our spiritual practice is an action. It's an action verb. Our life is an action verb. And so we want to do the things that cause happiness. A lot of times Buddhism, especially when we talk about meditation and you're watching your mind, and it can seem like this kind of like choiceless awareness or something like that, something that you don't really have to do. You just have to be watch and be aware of, and that's it for meditation. And no, in meditation, you're doing something. You're doing something to calm your mind, to relax your mind, to give your mind another mindset. To look at your mind and see, hey, to look at your mind and watch this process of suffering kind of unfold, and understand that as suffering, and understand that the antidote to a lot of this suffering is this practice of loving kindness. That's what we're all trying to do in Buddhism. We're trying to relieve our suffering. We're trying to lessen our suffering, and this practice of loving kindness is, one way to do that. Welcome, come on in. All right, so we're going to have this short introduction. We're going to have our meditation, and then we're going to have like a question and answer session. I don't know where I'm at. I had a really good day today. I had a weird day, but a really good day. My internet went out at home, or so I thought. It was really an issue with my computer, not my internet. But I had to spend some time with the internet company on the phone before we actually figured it out and fixed it. And during that time, I was a little worried because I had a meeting going on. It's our monthly planning meeting that we have, several people on. And just as when my internet went out and I was on the phone with the internet company, they got into a big argument. And when my internet came back and I relogged into the meeting, it was all over. I thought, well, some things I'm glad they happened. I'm glad that happened. And then also, what else wonderful happened today? I've been fighting with I'm not fighting, that's the wrong word, going back and forth with my insurance company on a particular medication, and I just decided to go outside of the insurance to another place called Cost Plus Drugs. It's Mark Cuban's new thing. And I think my drug costs went from $200 to $38. Just going outside of insurance. So that was a win for me. And I thought, it doesn't matter what else happens today. That's amazing. All right. So let me see what they said here online. Okay. Oh, Beth and Louise, hello. All right, good. No one knowing me. All right, so let's get ready to do this practice of loving kindness. Go ahead and let's get into our seated position. Any questions before we start? Awesome. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that comfortable and sustainable position so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, ready for the day's abiding. So at first, let's just get connected to the breath. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural at first. And just focusing your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. And keeping the breath at the base of the nostrils, just watching the air go in and out. And after a few breaths, is when it's really a good time to experiment with the breath, just feeling what kind of breath will be good right now, what kind of breath will keep you anchored to the present moment. Because even in this practice of loving kindness meditation, you always want to have about 25% of your attention on the breath. Just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. So now to begin our practice of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill, this wish for ourselves and others to be happy and to do the things that cause happiness, we're first going to call to mind a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone it's really easy to have these feelings from, for you just think of this person and you smile and you remember all of the ways in which their love and kindness to you really touched your heart. You can smile when you do so. The smiling helps so much in meditation, putting the mind in a good mood. And you can either just radiate loving kindness to them, and however you understand that word, wishing them happiness, wishing that they do the things that cause happiness. Or you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them. One or more phrases like, may you be happy. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. Just do what comes naturally to you. There's no need to struggle during this part of the meditation. So we'll do this part of the meditation for our benefactor, or benefactors. It could be more than one. And shifting our focus just a little bit from doing this practice for our benefactor to now we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And the only thing that we really have to do here is just receive all of their love and kindness into our own heart. We already have the experience of their love and their kindness in our heart that we can call to mind. And it could be the same benefactor, a different benefactor. Just imagine them radiating loving kindness to us or repeating phrases of loving kindness for us. And just, you can put your hand over your heart if you want, feeling for any areas of tightness or tension. And if you feel that, can you then just breathe into that? Maybe it'll soften and just kind of relax and dissipate. Maybe not. Don't worry about it if it doesn't relax or loosen. Just keep doing the practice. Just receive all of their love, all of their kindness. So we'll do this for the next few moments. Now, for the most important part of this meditation is we've been kind of tenderizing our hearts, so now we can start to do this practice for ourselves. And at first, just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be healthy, free from danger, happy, contented. And it's a wish that everyone has for themselves. We don't always go about it in the best way, but it's still okay to recognize that we have this aspiration, this wish for ourselves to be happy. Can we now just very gently just repeat to ourselves, may I be happy. May I be happy. May I do the things that cause happiness. You can even imagine your heart getting bigger and warmer. The bigger and warmer it gets, the better it feels. The more open and expansive you feel. You can go as slowly or quickly as you need to. Simply, may I be happy. May I be happy. Smiling and maybe still putting your hand over your heart if you want to. And we'll do this practice for ourselves. And making sure you still have about 25% of your attention on the breath. Anchoring yourself to the present moment. Really getting the most out of your practice. Now, finally, we can explore the limitless potential of the heart, this limitless quality that everybody has to include all beings in all directions in their practice of loving kindness. May all beings be happy. May all beings do the things that cause happiness. May all beings be safe from inner and outer danger. May all beings be well in body and mind. Just extend out to as many people as you can. Just what's comfortable. You don't have to push yourself too far for now. If you want to do it for just a specific group of people, you can do that. But still realizing that you have the potential to include everybody. So we'll do this for the next few moments to end our meditation. Just open your eyes when you're ready. So let's just take the next couple of moments out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you while you do so. So for the people online and in person as well, if you have any questions at all, just get them ready. I'm going to be asking for them in a minute here. So just the next 30 more seconds and just kind of stretch and come back for meditation. Ugh. Well, as usual, that was good for me. And I always enjoy that. Especially doing it with, I meditate at home by myself a lot, and so it's always nice to do it with a group of people as well. If I ever have trouble, if I ever want to, the final part of the meditation is to do this practice for all beings in all directions, and sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes I'll just do like everybody in this room. So it's really nice. It's a nice, target, I guess you could say. Yeah, well, I say target. That's fine. That's because there's people actually in here. All right. Any questions on the instructions at all? Hopefully they were relatively straightforward. This is for online as well. Any let's see. Any experience that you would like to kind of relay? I know that regardless of the meditation that you do, your experience will be different between times you do meditation. So I'm always interested to know what your experience of meditation is or was. Maybe something that was easier or more difficult about this particular meditation. Something that you were going through where this meditation helped. Yes, sir.
Is there a reason for the guided meditation to be in the format of giving love to others, receiving love from others, and saving for last love for yourself?
Yeah, there is, and I go over this a lot, almost every meditation, and as I say, almost every time, I'm happy to go over it every single time because it's that important. So really quickly, the traditional way that this is taught is not the way that I led the meditation. The traditional way that this meditation is done is you do it for yourself first, and then for a loved one, and then for a neutral person, and then for the enemy, and then for all people, right? And that's the way it is because the thinking is that, well, it's easiest to do it for yourself because you're closest to your heart. It's your heart, right? And so it's easiest to do it for yourself. And then it would be like second easiest to do it for a loved one because they're really close to your heart too, right? And then it would be a little more difficult to do it for a neutral person because then you would have to kind of kind of extend yourself a little and into kind of unfamiliar territory, maybe something that you're not used to doing. And then to do it for the enemy is probably the hardest thing to do. Because when you think of the enemy and loving kindness, that word doesn't come tripping off the tongue for that person or those people, right? And then, of course, for all beings. But that's just not the way I do it. Because in traditional Buddhist countries, that's the way it is. That thinking makes sense. Because for them, yes, it's easiest to do for yourself because they were raised in a Buddhist country and they were raised with generosity and respect, especially for the monks early in their life, like 2 years old, the little like Thai boy, learning this gesture of putting your hands together and bowing and putting the little spoonful of rice into the monk's bowl, and having that, and then afterwards maybe learning some meditation practices, when they learn that, then it makes sense for them to have loving kindness for yourself. That's not how we are here, because we don't learn that here, right? By the time we get to Buddhism, we're an adult and we've had a lot of suffering and trauma and just life experiences. And in this particular culture, we, in America, we're not taught to love ourselves. We're taught that that's selfish and wrong. And others, fine. Yourself, no, because that's bad. That's selfish. But in Buddhism, we learn about two different kinds of selfishness, right? The good selfishness is having loving kindness for yourself. And there's the more unskillful, just kind of self-serving stuff. But there's a kind of selfishness where having loving kindness for yourself is really, really good. But since we didn't grow up in a Buddhist culture, we have to think about how is this meditation on loving kindness, how is this really going to be effective and really work for us. And so this practice, the practice of the way that we do it, doing it for our benefactor first, and then imagining our benefactor doing it for us because we had that experience already. And so we just need to call that to mind. So what that does is it kind of butters us up. It tenderizes our heart so that we can then, when we do this practice for ourselves, we're not like, radiating kindness to like a brick wall or like a 3 feet of steel where it's not going to penetrate, right? So, that's why we do it kind of the way that we do it in this kind of modified way here. I didn't make this up. I got this from a website, at Jack Kornfield's website, and because I was looking for a different way to do this, and I saw that, and I thought, this is so much better. This is so much better for us. Not for everybody, but by and large, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you done this kind of practice before another way?
I can't say another way, but it just kind of, for me,
Yeah.
The old saying that, if you can't completely love yourself, then how can you completely love others?
Yeah.
So your guidance of going the other direction, you haven't softened your own heart completely, and how can you be successful giving that love right at the beginning? So I can understand now your explanation of traditionally why it's done that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. If you can have that feeling, that real feeling of loving kindness in your own heart, and you have to experience it for yourself. You really do. If you have that experience in your own heart, you want everyone to feel this way. Absolutely everyone to feel this way. You wouldn't hurt or harm anybody ever if you really have that experience of loving kindness in your own heart for yourself. It acts as this kind of eternal kind of wellspring that naturally flows out onto other people. And so what we're trying to do here is just get us to the point where we can do that, where this practice, where we naturally love ourselves and have love for ourselves and don't want to do anything to harm ourselves, because that's what we do. Everybody wants happiness, but so often we do the very thing that causes unhappiness. And then we feel bad about it, and then we feel shame about it, and then it's just like, big rolling ball, of shame, and it's just not really, really, really useful. So, we're trying to think like, well, how can we teach loving kindness for this traumatized culture, which is exactly what we are? How do we get that experience of love into our own hearts, even just a little bit, so that we don't harm ourselves anymore? It's a natural outpouring of that love to other people, to everybody. So that's kind of why we do it like that. That's why I do it like that.
Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? I get into my, as a natural introvert. I mean, I can do this, and I can sit up here and I can talk to you all, and I can lead meditation. And so, but it can get draining for me sometimes. So I need to be by myself and recharge, which is just kind of what introverts do. I'm kind of an extroverted introvert. I can speak in front of 1,000 people at work, and that's just not a problem for me anymore. But afterwards, I just need a lot of recharging time. But sometimes I spend too much time by myself, and I get into a rut. And so that's another reason why I like coming here. It kind of gets me out of that. But I always feel better when I come here. So thank you all for that, for sure. Anybody online have anything? One of the things one of the ways to think about this meditation that we do, this practice that we do, is that when you ask yourself, well, why am I doing this sitting practice that we just did? It's a practice for what? You're practicing for what? And a good way to think of this is you're practicing for the rest of your day. You're kind of charging yourself up here, and you're practicing for the rest of your day, so that when you meet somebody on the street or you have a meeting at work, you can actually practice this loving kindness for other people. And so that's just, for me, and for a lot of other people too, a really good way to kind of look at this, because you don't want to just practice loving kindness here. You want to practice it wherever you're at, and the more you practice it, the better you'll feel. I was really going somewhere with that, and I just had it on the tip of my tongue, and I absolutely forgot. Sorry about that. But anyway, so we have a couple of minutes left. I thought someone had a question. So why don't we do announcements first? You want to come up and do your announcements, and then we'll close.
Good evening, everyone. I'm tonight's host, named Cliff. We opened the Dharma Bone Temple 15 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice with others. Just about every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recover Sangha that meets several times a week for anyone battling addiction, drugs, alcohol, or anything else for that matter. A family Sangha for parents, kids, toddlers, and teens, which currently meets once a month. And we also offer a half-day summit retreat for the first Saturday of the month with an RSVP required. Everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted in the introvert way above the shoe rack. We also have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it, then bring it back whenever you're done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out, and if a few people could stay to close and watch the windows, that would be helpful. And thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again.
All right. So join our palms together at our hearts, please. May the benefit of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your week. See you, folks.